Sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin.
Startling disclosure. The director of Abu Dhabi Alex Eala's treasured secret gift leaves her in weeping. This is unbelievable. That the world of tennis has just ceased to exist. We have seen ladies and gentlemen past. We have seen fate. And we've seen something that will be discussed for many years. The filmmaker of the Abu Dhabi Open Mubala has recently done the unimaginable. In an action that has sent shockwaves to Madrid from Manila, he did more than merely commend the Filipino sensation in Alexandria. He transformed her. Eternal life. The greatest young talent is A. Never have I seen. Those were the words. However, what followed? What was within the young were given the enigmatic box. The Asian tennis queen who abandoned her weeping on the center court? What is this? Insiders claim that the mystery present is incredibly valuable and rewritable. What is the WTA's future? Hold on to Champions, your screen. We possess the unique information, the heart-stopping responses, as well as the complete account of the desert miracle. You're observing Tennis Champions. Additionally, if you adore, you must destroy that subscriber, tennis button now, as this narrative is renowned. To comprehend the extent of this shocking revelation, we must reverse the clock. We must examine the flames that fires within Alexandria. She didn't simply reach Abu Dhabi. She barged into the gates. February of 2026. Zed's Sport City. Despite the intense heat, it's nothing contrast to the warmth emanating from Eala's racket. Prior to this competition, already, Alex was experiencing a surge of momentum that, to be honest, was terrifying for her adversaries. She has achieved a career high. 45th place in the world rankings. Should we give that a round of applause? The only Filipina to ever make it into the top 50, shattering walls as if they were composed of glass. She wasn't content, though. Oh no, not Alex. She arrived in the UAE carrying a mission. She wasn't trying to find points for participation. She was observing for blood. She faces her in the first round. Top pal, Zanup's son. It's never easy to pretend to be a buddy, but Eala reversed the switch. She became a fighter. Bam. 64-63. Surgical accuracy. She lovingly dismantled her buddy, but she dismantled her in any case. Then arrived the subsequent round. The game that resulted in the director got up. The match that made everyone take notice. She was awake. Against Sasnovich, Ali Alexandra, a big killer, a veteran, and a player who has removed the top 10 stars. Additionally, it looked awful, people. It glanced over. Third set, Eala is behind 0-4. The throng is quiet. The critics are typing their well-done tweets. However, Alexa, she doesn't understand what the word means give up. She explored the reservoir thoroughly. That Filipino heart of Puso. She painful point by point, clawing back, transforming a massacre into a work of art. In a tiebreak, she prevails. The stadium burst forth. Chaos reigned. And observing from the high-altitude VIP box over the Nigel, the tournament director was on court. Gupta. He was doing more than clapping. He was enthralled. Something caught his attention in that return that cannot be purchased with money. He observed the center of a future global powerhouse. For him, this wasn't simply another contest. This was enlightening. This was the instance in which a filmmaker who has watched thousands of matches, legends pass via his competition, surroundings, became aware that he was seeing the emergence of the next worldwide celebrity. The Eala strategy for recovering from the loss wasn't solely about technique or skill. It was about morality. It was concerning declining to concede whenever your body's logical bone is screaming that it's finished. Sasnovich is an accomplished professional with a Grand Slam victory champions. She is adept at closing out matches. She is able to apply pressure. However, she failed to account for because the mere determination of a Filipina, age 19, who has been overcoming obstacles all of her life. Let's please take a moment to put this in context. The path taken by Alexandra Eala to get here has been really miraculous. She doesn't come from a wealthy nation. Tradition in tennis. She's not from a household with boundless means. She's battled for every chance, every wild card, scholarship. She Rafa Nadal Academy training in Spain, separated from her family, gaining knowledge about being resilient, gaining the ability to compete with the best. Junior Grand Slams were won by her. Indeed, however, the shift to the professional for most, the tour, is where dreams go to die. Participants. The WTA is a harsh environment. Its list of athletes who were formerly the prodigies themselves are currently working hard, out in the qualifiers, and wishing for good fortune take a break. Eala, however, is unique. She's the intangible characteristic that distinguishes the great from the good. She possesses that when the pressure is at its highest, ice in her veins at its highest point. She is capable of raising her level when it counts. And that's precisely what attracted the attention of the tournament director, Nigel Gupta, who has nearly a decade of experience in the tennis industry. 30 years. Let's go on to the time when everyone is losing their thoughts. Typically, directors of tournaments are corporate. They are courteous. They tremble. Hands. They provide talks that are general and include, "Oh, good match. Keep working hard." False today. Not with Alex. Following that valiant triumph over Sasnovich, since Eala was packed her luggage, blotting her perspiration, and she shed tears. A declaration came over the public address system. The filmmaker asked her to take center stage. The crowd fell silent. A appeared perplexed. Was she having problems? Was this a regulation? Transgression? At this level, athletes are accustomed to formality and protocol, yet this was different. This was unheard of. Nigel Gupta departed. Onto the court. He grabbed the microphone. And he was trembling with emotion in his voice. He was not a businessman in his speech. He talked as though a fan had just witnessed a spiritual encounter. He gave Alex a look, the eye, and uttered this statement, which is now popular all across the world. "Hey Alexandra, I have spent 30 years watching tennis. I've witnessed the greats. However, you, Eala, are the most exceptional young talent I've ever witnessed." The audience let out a gasp. The finest? Superior to Goff, Coco? Better than Raducanu Emma. Superior to every other young celebrity, they have received a lot of publicity. He didn't end there. He went on, "Your technique is flawless. Your vision is remarkable, but your will, that fire you displayed today, is devastating. Frighten your rivals. You are not simply a participant. You are a powerhouse of nature." I was taken aback. She was trying not to smile while flushed behind her towel. Her instructors they were standing, not believing what they heard. The stadium was filled with people. Were yelling with pride. However, the director wasn't finished. He gestured toward help, and then everything was different. The moment that halted is right here. Time. An assistant emerged with a little, tasteful box. It wasn't a medal. It wasn't a check. Something was involved. Individual. The box was taken by the director. He exposed it to the light. The stadium was so silent that a pin drop could be heard. Thousands of individuals demonstrating breath, flashing cameras, and phones recording, with everyone attempting to record this enchanted, fantastical moment. He stated, "Alexandra, actions are more valuable than words. Regardless, I would like to give you something, a sign, a covert present that I've been waiting for a long time. For the appropriate player. The individual who represents the genuine essence of a champion. I discovered her today," he said, passing the box. To Eala. She was shaking her hands. She opened it cautiously and gently, as if she was opening a sacred object. Additionally, she broke the instant she peered inside. Her face began to well up with tears at once. She shook her head and covered her mouth. In shock. She examined the director, then the box again, and finally at her group of spectators who were also weeping. The box was held close to her chest, as though it were her own child. She was unable to talk. The words were simply mouthed by her. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." Her expression of unadulterated emotion was something that is unfakeable. This was an opportunity for a picture. This wasn't a PR gimmick. This was a real, sincere moment of bonding between a director with a passion for the game and a player who is putting their all in to fulfill her aspirations. What was inside? There are rumors circulating. Champions, we have insiders are frantically gathering information. The tournament's organizers are being extremely silent about it, which just heightens the mystery and fascination. According to some, it's a golden key, an unrestricted wildcard access to each and every Mubadala-sponsored and international event for the following 5 years. That would be worthwhile. Millions of opportunities. Consider it. For players outside, wild cards are invaluable. The top 30. They ensure admission to prestigious competitions, which implies greater prize money, higher ranking points, more visibility to sponsors. If Ella has that level of protection for 5 years, she can choose her timetable without the ongoing anxiety about being qualified or wanting for a spot at the final minute. Others are implying that it's a private correspondence of guidance from a legendary tennis player, maybe Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal, arbitrated by the director, ensuring her individual instruction meetings with the tennis gods. Can you envision Alex Eala's method of learning from the sharp tennis mentality of Roger Federer or working with Nadal on clay court strategies? The best clay court athlete of all time, what is that type of access like? Literally cannot be purchased with money. It's about connections, deference, and acknowledgement possibilities. However, the most blaring rumor, the one with the loudest noise. According to sources, it's a vintage, an invaluable fragment of tennis history. Maybe a charm or necklace worn by a legend such as Serena or Billie Jean King Williams during their first major victory transferred as a torch to the following generation. A sign indicating that you are the selected one. Consider the weight of that symbolic meaning. Consider what it weighs to preserve a fragment of tennis history with you whenever you take the court. It's a blessing, not simply jewelry. It serves as a reminder and a duty that you are continuing the legacy of giants and that you possess the capacity to become a part of the tennis pantheon alongside them immortals. In any case, the filmmaker referred to it as the secret to her fate. Observing Ella's response, it was evident something that deeply affected her. This wasn't regarding monetary worth. This was about affirmation, about acknowledgement. This concerned a significant figure in I'm seeing you, tennis told her. I have faith in yourself. You're unique. For a youthful sportsperson who has dedicated years battling to establish herself, putting in the tour's lower tiers, dealing with injuries, losses, and uncertainties, that type of affirmation is transformative. The internet has dissolved down. Ella gifts hashtags, and the selected ones are now trending at the top of number 3 and the Philippines worldwide. Tennis analysts are saying this while scurrying. Support from a significant competition director is unheard of. It places Ella's back is the objective, but it also informs the locker room that she is wearing armor. Is the one to defeat. Let's examine the time. She's interested in the quarterfinals. She is up against the next up is the formidable Ekaterina Alexandrova, but following this, after being informed that she is the greatest skill ever and getting a present that brought tears of happiness to her eyes, do you believe she will be worn out? Believe she will be afraid? No, she will be unstoppable. She is having the blessing of tennis to play. Ekaterina Alexandrova is no longer joke. She's a huge player in the top 30. Hitter with a strong ground and serve blows that have the power to knock you off the court. She has participated in Grand Slam quarterfinals. She has participated in WTA tournaments. Although she is the favorite, paper does not take momentum into consideration, does not take confidence into consideration, does not take into consideration a player who feels that greatness is her destiny. We discuss how this gift might be the spark. Regarding professional turning events, the Davis Cup victory of Novak Djokovic for Serbia and recognizing his potential as a leader nation to fame. Serena Williams winning the US Open for the first time as a teenager and making herself known to the globe. The Abu Dhabi miracle, Alexandra Ella possibly the time she transitioned from a promising junior to a world-renowned celebrity. Perhaps that's when she stopped wishing and began to understand psychological effects of this incident cannot be emphasized. Sports, in particular tennis and other individual sports, are as much mental as physical. Belief is power, and confidence is money. When you genuinely think you can have excellence, your body obeys you take chances you wouldn't otherwise typically, you go for photos that you fight for points while playing it safe. Normally, you would give in. And that's what Eala is currently showing us. However, let's discuss the pressure as well. Because great recognition comes with high standards. The tennis community is now observing. Each game she plays from now on will be closely examined. The detractors who will magnify the loss will be the first to support her, to rip her to pieces if she falters. The beast's nature. That's the cost of being named the next big thing something. That courtroom scene in Abu Dhabi, when she broke that present after receiving it. That was real, and I was crying. Vulnerability. That individual was youthful. Feeling overpowered by the scope of the instant and realization that she effort in a sport that frequently feels chilly and businesslike. That instance of the beauty of true human feeling reminded us of the reasons we enjoy sports, because they provide us with these moments of transcendence. In these instances, we discover the finest that people are capable of. The gift's mystery remains all people are captivated by social media. Full of theories. Some fans believe perhaps a legend uses it as a racket in a historic game. According to some, might be a note written by hand from a champion providing direction and insight. According to a few wild speculations, it may be an agreement to ensure sponsorship or funding. In actuality, we might never find out. If Eala decides to keep it confidential. To be honest, there's something lovely regarding that as well. Not everything must be open to the public. Not everything must be shared. There are precious times. What we can state with confidence that this gesture's effects will be felt for years to go. Young athletes in the world will learn about this tale and be motivated. They'll observe that diligence and heart is able to be acknowledged and appreciated in surprising ways. They will observe that the journey is important, not simply the destination. They will notice that one individual everything may change if you believe in yourself. The quarterfinal encounter with Alexandrova will be intriguing to observe. Should Eala prevail, she will be in the WTA 500 event semifinals, which would be the most significant outcome of her career. A run's ranking points such as these could help her rise to the top 40 or greater. More significantly, it would demonstrate Abu Dhabi's lack of fluke. It would demonstrate her ability to compete with and defeat elite athletes. Often. However, even if she loses, this competition has already proven to be an enormous success for her. She has acquired admirers. She has earned respect, self-assurance, and she's acquired whatever in that enigmatic box, which appears to have greater significance for her than any award. The tennis schedule is unrelenting. Another competition is always coming up, another game, another chance, but there are specific instances that characterize careers, specific instances in which players reflect years later and remark, that's when everything changed. Because Alexandra Eala, Abu Dhabi, February 2026 Dhabi could well be that time. As the story develops, we'll be here, encompassing each development, each game, every significant event, as this is what is the focus of Champions Tennis? We don't simply report results, we share narratives, and we honor winners. We acknowledge potential grandeur. Additionally, Alexandra Eala is utterly magnificent in the constructing. The Philippines has discovered its superstar in tennis. The WTA has discovered its next big star, and the globe has discovered a player who is worth seeing only once she enters the courtroom. The fire brilliantly shines in Alexandra Eala, and Abu Dhabi was merely the start of what looks to be an amazing adventure. What do you suppose the box contained? Was it a sponsorship worth millions of dollars agreement, a piece of history, or something more enigmatic? Post your most outrageous hypotheses in the comments.
Down.
I'd like to listen to them all. If you're proud of our girl, pay attention. If you're excited about this season, Alex, the like button should be smashed till it breaks. Distribute this video to all tennis enthusiasts. Let's get the entire globe, discussing the pride of This is Champions Tennis in the Philippines, where legends are created and champions are advised. Remember to hit the subscribe button and to be the first to know the bell once the secret is out. We're monitoring Eala's journey at every turn, and you wish to avoid missing any the second of what might be the year's most inspirational tennis story. Until then, pay attention to the ball. She will be referred to as insane by some. Some would argue that she ought to have seized the funds and put them to good use to construct tennis courts in the Philippines should provide funding for scholarships to alter lives. Perhaps there is a disagreement, yet there is also a point that she made by getting up for the sake of sports integrity, demonstrating teaching young sportsmen that there are proper methods to take action, will have a longer-lasting impact that surpasses all charitable donations. She's offering an alternative form of value, moral worth, motivational worth, and that cannot be valued. We ought to additionally take into account the pragmatic realities of what would happen if you accepted the offer. Intended. $6 billion does sound amazing, but it would have included conditions imposed. She would have been required to perform in exhibitions, to make appearances, to basically turn into an Abu Dhabi marketing tool. Her career, would not have been her own. She wouldn't have made her own decisions. In essence, she would have been a worker, not a sportsperson, and for someone who has put up such a strong fight for autonomy, for the liberty to pursue her goals according to her own terms, which would been, no matter how gilded, a jail. And there's the legacy problem with tennis. Immortals such as Martina and Steffi Graf, Chris Evert, Serena Navratilova, and Williams, who are known for their Grand Slam championships, for their competitions, for the defined matches. Are you able to? What if Serena had started her career earlier? Had accepted a huge payout to play exclusively in exclusive displays? We wouldn't be referring to her as the best of all time. We would discuss her as a footnote, a narrative about what may have been. She recognized that, and Alex did, too. That genuine excellence must be attained in the furnace of genuine competition, rather than produced in a business boardroom. The larger sports community is adopting. Also take note of this story. Analysts and commentators from other sports have an impact. Some are complimenting Alex on her honesty, are doubting whether she completely recognized what she was refusing. However, the discussion itself is worthwhile. It compels us to face difficult concerns regarding the commercialization of sport, on the part that money plays in sports, regarding the things we as supporters cherish, and as a community. Are we interested in watching the top athletes face off against one another? Or are we only interested in seeing the wealthiest athletes perform for us? Alex Eala has compelled us to consider that. As the culmination of this narrative, her quarterfinal encounter with the anxiety is too much, Alexandrova. The entire tennis community will be present. Out. Could you please provide us with an update on what emotions are you experiencing on your right leg of time? Yes, there is a small amount of discomfort and the assistance in particular during a defeat or a difficult time occasions during the game, and I believe it truly creates blow-up cushions.